Alright guys, it's official. I'm jumping on the Eart bandwagon. Today's tasty morsel is this very affordable yet very modern and totally dialed in headless guitar. Now for me, this is just the right amount of modern and traditional. On the modern side, it's headless and it has a wild looking ergonomic body and it has these rounded fret ends that Eart is becoming known for. But on the other hand, it's a standard scale 6-string guitar with a pair of humbuckers and a standard control layout. Okay, so this is going to be the third Eart guitar that I've checked out. And after the first one that I checked out, which was just a standard 3 single coil Strat style guitar that I bought for myself off of Amazon.com, Eart reached out to me and was generous enough to send me a couple more to check out. Okay, now let's take a closer look at this thing, and I'm going to run through the specs on this guitar, but keep in mind, sometimes these things are actually a little bit difficult to figure out because the technical specs on these guitars have gone through a sort of torturous translation process. Now the body here is listed as ash, but it is also listed as redwood and also sometimes safflower pear wood. Now as far as the grain, it looks like ash to me. So I'm thinking it's ash. This just has a red stain on it. So it's redwood. I mean, it's red colored and it's wood. Now the top here is a burled poplar veneer. And you can actually see and feel the wood grain on this top here. And there are some places where there's actually holes in the top because of the burled grain. And you can see all the way through to the body. So it gives it a little bit of an odd texture, but with the satin finish, the whole guitar looks really nice. Now the neck is a 5-piece design and it's maple with some other kind of wood in between here. To me it kind of looks like walnut, but don't quote me on that. It could also be the same wood that the body is made out of, and I unfortunately I couldn't find any specs on what the neck is actually made out of besides the maple. Now one thing that all the listings agree on is the fretboard material, and that is rosewood. And as you can see, it's got 24 frets, and these are these amazing rounded frets. They call these the rounded ball end frets. Straight up beautiful these frets are. Also, one thing that is easy to miss on this guitar, and it actually doesn't seem to be mentioned anywhere in the promo material, is that this guitar has a 0 fret up here by the nut. And what this is essentially an extra fret that's right next to the nut, and it allows the guitar to achieve really low action when it's set up properly. Now this guitar, like most Eart guitars, has stainless steel frets. Stainless steel, all the coolest things are made out of stainless steel. DeLoreans, the SpaceX Starship, replica Klingon bat'leths, probably your kitchen sink, the list goes on. Okay, and at the beginning of the video I said this guitar was affordable. And you guys, if you've been following these Eart guitar reviews, you know these things always come in at a really good price. This guitar here is right around $330. And I know not everybody wants a headless guitar like this, but in terms of the overall build quality of these guitars, for $330, these are insanely nice. The fretwork and just the overall smoothness and comfort of the neck alone, I think is worth that price. Anyway, there's still a bunch of cool things about this guitar and some things about the bridge in particular that I want to go over. But first, let's go ahead and listen to how the guitar sounds and see how it plays. Now for this demo, I'm going to be using my Hot Tone Ampero amp modeler, which I got recently and I've really been digging it. So I'll plug this in and go through a few different sounds with that unit. Now, real quick guys, if you enjoy videos like this, as always, you know, checking out cool, affordable guitars like this one and you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this thing in and listen to how it sounds. Okay guys, so let's talk a little bit about this guitar, how it plays and how it sounds. So let's talk about the pickups real quick. These are called the Class 57 alnico pickups. Again, like some of the other things on the guitar, I can't find a whole lot of information about them, but I can tell you when I play them and listen to them through the setup here, these are very tight sounding pickups. They have a really pleasant mid-range, not too harsh. But it's very controlled, very tight sounding, which I really like. And something else that's surprising about this guitar is when you play it in person and you listen to it acoustically, like without the amp on, the guitar is surprisingly resonant for a headless guitar. And so I think the resonance of the guitar itself combined with those tight sounding pickups makes for a really good combination, and it gives you a very sort of controlled tone, if that makes sense. Now, I really can't say enough about the neck and frets. The shape of the neck is sort of a cross between a C and a D. It has the sort of flatness of a D, but it still has a fairly round shoulder here like a C neck would. But it's, the satin finish on the back of the neck and these beautiful, beautiful frets on here. It's super, super comfortable to play. Now, one thing I do want to talk a little bit about that makes it great to play is the setup on the guitar, and in particular the action. Now, this has very low action, but I have adjusted it. And something about that, the bridge here has some cool features. One thing I don't really like, though, is how you adjust the action, how you adjust the height of the saddles down here. The issue with this thing is that the saddle adjustments are just a bit strange, honestly. And there are these little brass pieces in here where the string goes through. And those pieces are connected to a larger round brass piece that rotates, and that moves that up or down and adjusts the height of the action. But the issue is those can get jammed very easily, and so you adjust the little screws back here to make them go up and down, but then they don't move. And so I found I had to sort of tap on them with a screwdriver a little bit to get those pieces to move after I had adjusted them, if that makes sense. Now the other things on the bridge work pretty well. These tuners here, you can tune them with your fingers pretty easily. Something that's really cool though is there's a little, like a tuning wrench, and it's magnetized and it is actually attached to the top of the bridge here. And this thing pulls out and it's like a little tiny crank. And so you put this into the top of the tuner and then you can like crank this thing around. So like if you're putting on new strings or changing tunings or something like that where you have to make like a large tuning adjustment, this cool little crank actually saves a lot of time and makes it really easy. And then when you're done with it, it goes back in the bridge and just snaps in place there because it's magnetized. Okay, now something else I want to mention about this guitar is that it comes in other colors, and they also have pretty much the same guitar but with a tremolo bridge. So I don't have that guitar, but actually my buddy Deacon Lacrosse over on his channel, he did get one of those guitars with the trim on it. So I'm going to put a link to his video in the video description below if you want to check out that other version of the guitar. Overall, this is just a really, really cool, slightly mysterious, but just really beautifully made guitar. And it's, I mean, you know, for the price you get it for, like I said, it's like $327, $330, right around there on Amazon. I mean, this is really, really good manufacturing, a really good craftsmanship on this guitar for that amount of money. I'm honestly not a huge headless guitar kind of guy, but this guitar is so easy to play and just it's so well made. It's kind of, you know, I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's a headless guitar, if you guys know what I mean. The other things about the guitar, like the truss rod adjustment down here at the neck pocket, which is always great. Pickups sound good, very simple controls, a 3-way toggle, single volume, single tone. You know, the output jack down here is tucked out of the way, so the cable's never going to be hitting your leg or anything like that. Very well thought out design. Now the only thing that I don't like about the guitar, again, is the issue of adjusting the saddles, which is a little bit difficult, but it's not a deal breaker. I mean, you still can adjust them. It just takes a little messing around with it. But other than that, I really can't find anything to complain about with this guitar. Okay guys, so there's going to be a bunch of links down in the video description below. I'm going to have a link down there for my buddy Deacon Lacrosse's video where he checked out another version of that same guitar. I'll have a link for the guitar itself, also for the Ampero Hot Tone amp modeler, and I'm going to have a special link down there for my new instructional video. I've got like a 50% off code for that down there as well. Let me know what you think of that guitar in the comment section below, and if there are any other Eart guitar owners out there, I would love to hear what your ownership experience has been like. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll talk to you soon.